My conviction is that the future of the church is neo-monastic. What I mean by neo-monastic is we're not going back to how it was, and I don't think we're going to have nunneries and this massive move of celibacy and, I'm going to start fasting so much that I destroy my stomach. But I do think there's going to be something like that the Spirit of God is stirring. So when I say neo-monastic, a few things. One, I think the future is going to be rigorous discipleship as defined by a rule of life. So my understanding is by the 4th century, once they're working out the major kind of theological categories of Trinitarian theology and stuff, the conversation kind of shifts, or maybe it doesn't shift, maybe it's just in parallel, to rule of life. And Augustine comes out with a rule of life, and St. Patrick has a rule of life, and Benedict has a rule of life, which goes viral because it's more accessible, which is hilarious, because if you read it now, and it's like more intense than any person I've ever met in my life, But at the time, it was the accessible one, But they're asking the question, how do we follow Jesus together in such a way that we are transformed into people of love and offer that to the wider society? That's the driving question. And so, because that wasn't a driving question for American Protestants and Catholics, because the cultural architecture had enough of a rule of life built into it, such as everything was closed on Sunday and most people went to church or whatever, that it wasn't the dominant conversation. As we move toward chaos in the culture, the church needs to move toward order. I don't mean order in the politicized sense of the word, but like a rule of life. This is how we live, you know what I mean? So we're working on a rule of life for our church right now. We don't have membership, but we will have a rule of life. And to join our church will mean you at some point, you go through this training and this class, and you join, and you kind of go under the water, so to speak, and you join our rule of life, and you begin living with us this way. This is how we follow Jesus together in Portland.